Welcome to Are We Old? The show featuring two comedians getting nostalgic and tackling life's toughest question, Are we old? Here's your hosts, Mike Finoia and Charles McBee.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Are We Old podcast, the podcast where we kind of look at nostalgia, we look at our lives, and we ask ourselves, am I old? Are we old? I am your humble host, Charles McBee, and I'm here with the homie, my co-host, Mike Finoia. What up, Mike?
Hi, bud. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, dude. Thank you, everyone, for being here and listening and joining us. And we are so excited to answer the question, are we old and are you old? Please rate, review, subscribe, leave a comment, share. It goes such a long way. We really do appreciate it. And please, you could join us over at YouTube at Are We Old Pod. And we are going to be doing so much fun stuff there, Charles, right? I mean, we've got a lot of surprises for you guys over there. And we want to interact with you over there. And we want to chat with you. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get updates. Make sure you click, sign up for notifications. On Instagram, at Are We Old, AREWEOLD. Same with TikTok, at Are We Old. Facebook, Are We Old Podcast. And we have a Patreon where we're going to be doing some bonus stuff, some hangs, some movie nights, perhaps, Charles?
That's right.
And that's at patreon.com/Are We Old Podcast. So thank you guys so much. And we're stoked to be doing this with you. Let us know what you want to talk about, and we want to hear from you, and we want to answer some listener questions. If you're wondering if you're old, and you could hit us up at areweoldpodcast@gmail.com if you would like to send us a question, and we will read it on the air and give you a shout-out. And keep an eye out for some badass merch. It's going to be great. And just keep your eyes on all of our socials and our YouTube channel and our link tree and all of that. And we will keep you abreast of any updates.
We're gonna premiere a brand new TikTok challenge right now. We're gonna get up and we got a whole dance routine that we've worked on, and it's gonna be awesome.
An old guy TikTok challenge is do a TikTok challenge without ending up with a new copay. That's legitimately what it is, dude. I watch those things and I'm like, parkour to me is. I wish I knew what it was. I wish I knew what it was when I was a kid.
When they're jumping over buildings and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's like, just take the stairs, dude.
Right.
But they climb the outside of the stairway. It's wild stuff, dude. Wild.
I can't. I don't see any. The only time I see black people doing parkour is when they're running from the police. Like I've never. That is the only time you will ever see black people jumping from one roof to another roof. There will be. You will hear sirens in the distance. Outside of that, it's not happening.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I watch those, dude, and I'm like, that's the sign of oldness. Is where it's like. I don't know. Is it responsibility or is it getting old where it's like I watch it and go, I don't have any interest in trying that. I used to watch things and go, I'll do that. I'll skateboard off I'll do a jump into a lake or something like that. Like I'll ride my bike off of like the side of a house. Now I watch it and go, take the stairs.
Yeah. I watch it and go, I can't afford the medical bills that would come with that.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I can't risk it. I can't risk the medical, the injury, and it's not even. I'm not even thinking body cast, something crazy. I'm thinking the minor fracture that I just don't want to pay for.
Oh my God, dude! The injuries that we would get now would last forever. We would die with those injuries.
Yeah,
we're not recovering anymore.
It's just what it is now. That's your doctor will look at you and go, you're not recovering from this. This is just what it is. So we're at the point now, I feel like in your 40s, it's just like you just preserve. I'm trying to preserve as best as possible. There is no getting ripped or let me preserve as much as I can until we ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, dude, basically we're pickling at this point. We're just pickling. Like I just want to have enough salt in my system to keep me fresh through the winters. That's it.
Ironically enough, your doctor is probably telling you, Mike, you got too much salt in your
Too much
system.
salt.
You're
I'm
not
like,
gonna,
dude, what do I do?
you're not going to preserve with all the salt in your system.
Pickling or not, dude? I've been dying to chat with you about this. I had a legit old guy moment.
All right.
Where, I mean, my age and just looking at something from another perspective happened, and it hit me right in the face, and I was like, oh, I'm not the kid anymore. And that's an interesting thing when as you're aging, where you go like, I totally am seeing the kid side of this, and I'm now the old man. Like I'm on the other side of this.
Yeah, yeah.
School is back in session, right?
Right.
And now, and we're comedians. We're working at night, so basically, we live among the retired during the day.
Right.
We're running errands. We're going to the post office. We're going to the tailor. We're going to get our tires rotated, and responsible adult male things.
Right, right.
Getting our prostates checked. And
we're living like the retired or like a kept a kept woman during the day.
Yeah, totally. Which we don't have the benefits of either.
Yeah, exactly.
We're retired people without our retirement check. I'm driving behind a school bus, Charles. Okay.
Yeah, already fun.
Driving behind a school bus. Now, first thing, I'm angry because it's stopping constantly. It stops.
Those darn kids in their education and their safety.
First of all, yeah, you know what my first thing is like, can you walk? Do you have to stop every 3 houses? Can't you just all meet at the corner and have one collective bus pickup? Why does it have to be at the end of every driveway? Right?
Yeah.
Well, Charles, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I'm really not in a rush to get anywhere.
Right.
I'm just angry because there's
no. You're living like a retiree.
I'm like, oh, I got to go bring these sweatpants to get hemmed, But I'm like in a massive rush, and I'm getting mad at the school bus. Now, the kids are getting on the bus, and they're starting to head to the back seats, which I always liked because it was the furthest from the bus monitor, and I was a little bit of a rapscallion and troublemaker. And these kids, I don't think that's changed because these kids were waving at me. Hi, mister.
Yeah.
And I'm waving back, and they're doing like, beep the horn, and I was beeping.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, oh, cool, like I'm still cool. These middle school kids are trying to be friends with me.
Yeah.
And then they went from waving to just collectively flipping me off. I got like 3 birds flipped at me at once, dude. And I'm like,
hilarious.
You tricked me. You little punks. And I'm going, you jerks. Like, I'm going to follow this bus to the middle school, and and they're like, yeah, flipping me off, giving me the bird, loving it, high-fiving each other. And there's like the safety zone of, I'm in my car, they're in the bus. And I just keep I have to live in their joke. I can't leave. I'm behind that bus. And I can't turn. So I just had to live in them. They would look back and laugh at me. Dude, they had me just in the palm of their hand. And I really it was a karmic moment where it's like, I used to do this to cars. We mooned cars, dude. Yep. We flipped people off. We would like pretend to, like all types of sick things at the back of the bus. And here I am living in it as like the old man.
You're the guy. You're the old man now. You know what that reminds me of? You ever see Straight Outta Compton? You ever see that movie?
Yes, of course.
OG 2-Time, where they were on the bus and they were throwing up gang signs. And OG 2-Time just drives the car and cuts off the bus and then gets on the bus with his gun.
Yeah.
I imagine that reality is different than
a little bit different. Yeah, a little bit different.
But don't you kind of fantasize about some variation of that? We were like, let me teach these kids a lesson in road rage. Like, here's 100%. What could happen if you do this in the real world.
100%. I was gonna. I'm like, let me tell you, if these sweatpants didn't need to be hemmed, I would follow this bus and get off and grab them by their ear and go, "I'm bringing you to the principal's office."
Bro, I was a back of the bus kid, We in the back of the bus. So a few things happened in the back of the bus. One, it was just a joke off. Like it was just where we would go and just rip each other to shreds.
It was the open mic of middle school.
It was the open mic, and if you sat toward the front, you were getting something launched at your head, either an insult or some type of paper ball or some type of rubber band.
Something.
Yeah, something was getting launched at the back of your head.
Right.
It was also the school bus was also the fashion show, because you get on and you're walking to the back, and it was like your little runway of just like either you had the new starter jacket or you had the New Jersey or whatever it was, but it was a nice little fashion show. You would get on in the morning, and everybody had to check out your new fit.
Yes, dude, you are 100% right. It is, and you could you would think like, oh, I got this new Alf lunchbox. I'm gonna walk lunchbox forward, right? Like I'm gonna kind of like pony that in there. You know what I mean? And like then people go, oh my God, is that an Alf? And you're like, oh, what this little thing? That was my Louis Vuitton.
Yeah. You're the lunchbox box back then was the Birkin. It was the Birkin bag of school supplies. Yeah,
it totally was, dude. Your handbag that had pretzel sticks and cheese and crackers.
Yeah, man.
With a little red stick.
I saw something on the news the other night, and it made me chuckle a little bit. Maybe I wasn't supposed to, but I don't care. I chuckled anyway. It was a bus driver. They showed a video of a bus driver. He was on the bus, and he was telling the kids to put their seatbelts on. You know, the kids, they weren't listening, weren't putting their seatbelts on. So he jammed on the brakes real quick, and you just saw the kids just fly forward. And you know, should he have done that? No. Was that the appropriate thing to do? Absolutely not. But was there a part of me that said to myself, I bet them kids will put their seatbelts on from now on?
Bro, wait a second. School buses with
have
seatbelts?
Yeah, that was the other thing I thought.
We didn't even have.
Thing I thought.
Oh my God, dude! We had holes in the back of the brown seats that were covered with electrical tape. That you opened it, and it led to a parallel universe of boogers and gum and pencils, and that was if you put your hand in, or if you put your finger in the hole in the back of the bus seat, you either got nuclear powers or a disease that you still have.
Yeah, even as a kid, I used to go, "Is this legal? Like, how are we? How are we just free in this?" And then I would think well, I guess if the bus crashed, I mean, maybe we're fine because it's a giant bus. But then I'm like,
bus.
But even when the bus would hit a bump or something, we would go flying into the other seat.
Oh my God, yeah, dude.
Safety regulations was not a thing back then.
No,
at all.
I can't even believe that they allowed us to ride on that. I mean, and the suspension on those buses were non-existent, dude. Yeah, you're talking about hitting a bump. I mean, you hit a leaf in the fall.
Yeah,
you're all over the place, sliding around and stuff. You know what else is kind of amazing about the bus was if you thought you maybe had a beef with someone, or a little bit of when you got on the bus and you approached their seat.
Yeah.
If they made eye contact with you or didn't, or if they slid out or didn't, that was a little bit of a weird dogs sniffing each other kind of moment of are we cool? Is there something that happened? And that was where very anxious people would talk about you and look back, and if you were in a beef with someone, maybe you sat more towards the middle or the front of the bus because they were in the back. It was a real kind of, what would you even call it? It was a real equalizer, a real societal, it was tough, man.
Yeah, man. And if you knew other people had beef and they both rode the same bus, we would rush to get on the bus first just so we could sit back and watch.
Get a good seat for the show.
Get a good seat. You had to get a good seat. You had to get a good seat, man.
Do you remember walking to the bus stop even the night the first day of school, right? You had all your stuff laid out the night before, your new sneaks, your new pants, your new
laid out, bro. You tell me if they did this, because I feel like this is a cultural thing, a racial thing. But you tell me if I'm right or wrong. This is what we used to do. We would lay the shirt on, or whatever, the top on the bed. Then we would lay the pants right under the shirt, and then we would put the shoes on the bottom of the bed under the pants. It looked like it looked like a chalk outline almost. And we would sit back and we would just look at it and just imagine how bad we were gonna stunt on everybody else in school. Like we would sit there and just look at the outfit and go, tomorrow is on and popping. They're not even ready for what's about to happen right now.
You're like, yo, it's my school. They're gonna change the name to, it's gonna be the Charles McBee Elementary School.
It's gonna be Charles McBee Elementary School. Like it was crazy. And then there was a certain way for us. We had to like. It's weird now. We were so into neatness and tidiness because we had to have it ironed a certain way. We were big on creases. You know, the pants had to be creased a certain way. It couldn't be no fade. No faded jeans. The jeans had to be nice and crisp. It was a whole thing. Grades were shit, but fashion was through the roof.
You got an A+ in bus runway.
Right.
Now, I want to ask you, how old are you where you're worried about like your creases in your jeans and stuff like that? Was that middle school, late elementary school?
Definitely middle school. Once middle school hit, like 7th grade, it was a whole different ball game. We ain't in Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
You're right. And that's when like, that's a weird time too, because it was like you saw kids come to school that were like, oh, you're still a kid. Like you still have a dinosaur shirt on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where like I felt, okay, so you said it's a cultural thing. I can only speak for my little farm town that I grew up in, but we kind of began to get some sort of like identity as like come middle school, sports jerseys, band T-shirts. Like, are you going to be a skater, or are you going to be a hip hop kid, or are you going to be a preppy? You know, and we didn't have. Lucky for my parents, I was kind of like a hippie from the start. So like, I was like, can we just go get T-shirts with like bands on them, and like, you know, I wore Led Zeppelin shirts and literally like, you know, but and then like Hypercolor and Zubaz. I looked like if a crayon box threw up. I had like Miami Dolphins Zubaz with like a purple Hypercolor shirt and like, you know, a Yankees hat that was like 10 times too big for my head, like a bucket hat, like a Cypress Hill bucket hat.
Nice.
So, and then you kind of get there and it's for you, right? You walk into school and you're like, this is for me. This is me now. But then you meet all the new girls from all the new elementary schools, because it's the first time you're meeting a lot of these new kids.
Right.
And it's like, who is she? Like, who are they? And then you're looking at you and you're like, oh, they're going to sit next to the kid wearing like a CB Sports pullover, which was a big deal. It was like a ski jacket that was like, oh my God, if you had a red CB Sports jacket, you were, you know, Beverly Hills, not you were Luke.
King Ding-a-ling.
King Ding-a-ling. And we pegged our jeans, dude. I had to learn how to peg our jeans. Did you peg your jeans?
Wait. Because the peg means something way different today. What does pegging the jeans mean?
Ding, ding, ding. Here's a section.
Yeah.
What words meant what when we were kids versus what they mean now.
Because if somebody's pegging your jeans today,
then you call the cops. Yeah, you're going to throw those jeans out and probably go to therapy.
Or you're into that. Either way, it's all good. It's all good here.
Pegging your jeans back when in the late 80s, early 90s was you cuffed the bottom of your jeans where you pulled your you pinched and pulled and flipped and tucked, and it gave you like a cuff. And it like kind of puffed out the bottom of your pants, and you kind of had to have crispy white socks, and you would crinkle them down so there was like a double cheeseburger's width of white crunchy sock on a low top sneaker, an Adidas Samba or a Stan Smith perhaps, and then your cuff, your peg, and then your jeans. So it was a whole thing. So the bottom of your outfit was important. Very important.
You just learned me something.
That was the New England white kid prep. And a lot of kids were not cuffing. They're not pegging their pants. They were just like, I'm not doing this. And they ended up being probably the most honest with themselves and successful. They own businesses now and have families, and the rest of us are in therapy.
Hilarious.
Man, first day of school. Shout out to all the parents that are having that morning beer or a glass of wine going, summer's over. And that's another funny thing, right? Like going to bed the night before school started was like, it's over. It's over. Summer's over.
I wasn't an excited for a school kid. Were you an excited for school kid?
I wasn't excited for the anxiety of being a dumb kid again, because I was not a good student. And like you said, I was way too grades were shit, but I had a good time getting in trouble.
Fun hang.
But I didn't have that like, oh my God, I dread school, because all my friends were there. So we just brought summer into school. We just made school summer. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we didn't let it, but I hated school. I was never good at school.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I once had a report due, and I totally forgot. It was on the chambers of the heart, and I forgot to do it. And it was, I thought it was April Fool's Day. So I said, April Fool's. I didn't do my presentation. And the teacher goes, it's April 4th. And I was like, I'm sorry. I just screwed, and she was just like, you got to, come on, cut it out. And and that was like 6th grade. So I was already like bombing. But no
Hilarious.
Good. I didn't love, did you love school? Were you like
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. I dreaded it. It was not a good time. The only reason I made it a good time, or the only times I would have a good time, is when I was being a degenerate. Because I was trying to fit in with the other kids. Because if I was just being a normal kid, then you were prey. Yes. So I was like, well, in order to not become prey, I need to be with the wolves. And so it was a lot of me, and that is where I learned that I could write a joke or come up with a joke or be funny on the spot, because a lot of it was just verbal insults and just a verbal onslaught. But for us, a lot of it was, I will give us points on the fact that we were very big on how clever of the joke. Even back then, we had the wherewithal and the frame of mind to understand what a hacky joke was. Even though we weren't talking about it in the sense of comedy, but we're just in general. It's just like if you came up with something that was just hack or wasn't clever or wasn't, boom, or didn't hit hard, then you were then the target of everybody else's ire. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you had to be as sharp and clever and, just witty, like the whole thing, as you were destroying someone's self-worth and self-esteem.
You're ripping them to shreds. You're delivering such a killer joke, and then you're going, I'm sorry. I have to do this for my own survival.
Not my own survival. Yeah. It's either you or me, pal.
Don't take it personal. Yeah. I'll see you on the bus. You can have my seat. Oh, it's so funny, dude.
Back to school, man.
I had a real funny thing happen yesterday where my wife is away, and it was up to me to have dinner. Like, I'd like what to eat, and I didn't really want to go out. I didn't really feel like anything like fancy, but I was like, yo, cereal would be incredible right now. Cereal for dinner would be amazing. So I started thinking about it, and I went cereal shopping, and I got 2 boxes of cereal. Okay? I didn't need to do this.
Yeah.
But I got 2 family size boxes of cereal.
Okay. All right.
I got Raisin Bran with clusters of honey nut enrichment. And then I got a big fat box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I don't know. The whole time I'm doing it, I'm like, why are you doing this? Like,
The
what are you?
adult in you was like Raisin Bran, but Mikey was like, oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's right, dude. That's right. And you know what? I am excited to have Cinnamon Toast Crunch tonight for dinner. I had it for breakfast. I'm like having like some weird. The minute my wife goes away, I'm a 7-year-old. I'm Kevin McAllister.
Yep. And the
I'm
great
home
thing
alone.
about Cinnamon Toast Crunch is just you could do that straight out the box. Like, I mean, just straight out the box. It is. I mean, listen, for any of my fans, or people that follow me, many of you will know that cereal has been a very big thing with what we talk about. And yeah, and I'll say it again. I don't know how we survived, because as good as it is, how was that part of a balanced breakfast? Like, how did
balanced breakfast?
How did they market that as like most important meal of the day? We're literally just eating candy as kids. It's just candy.
It's literally, it's candy, it's cookies, it's cake in spoon-sized form.
And then we would put sugar on top of that, because we have to get the sugar mush at the bottom of the bowl.
But you know what? It was part of a balanced breakfast because you balanced it with a half a banana.
Yeah, right. There
You
you
would
go.
slice a little bit of banana so your mother would leave you alone. And then you would put sugar on the banana. And but did you have weekday cereal versus weekend cereal? Did you have like, I feel like I had like cereals for how now an adult might look at a liquor cabinet and go, it's the end of the week. Let's settle in with a nice scotch.
Hilarious.
I was like, okay, let me get out my good spoon, my favorite bowl, and settle into the weekend with a nice overflowing bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No, we had cereal was cereal, whatever, and we were loyal. We were cereal loyalists. Like whatever we rocked, I never saw my mother waver from what we had. This is the cereal that we had growing up, cold cereal that we had growing up. It was Fruit Loops, it was Frosty Flakes, it was Cheerios, some variation of Cheerios. My favorite was the apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Yes. Honey Nut I like too.
Honey Nut Honey Nut would come in the rotation. It would always be a rotation of one or the other. And then it would be like a Special K would sneak in there. But I wouldn't like that clearly wasn't for us. So it was just like, oh, this is
It's like when the smart kid tries to sit at your table at the cafeteria. It's like, you're not, this isn't for you.
Yeah, this is like,
get out of here.
This is mom's cereal. All right.
This is fiber. This is someone that's backed up.
Yeah, what the heck is going on here?
This is necessity cereal.
Yeah. Those are ours, and we never asked for anything else. It was just like, well, this is what we had. But every so often I would go to a friend's house or something like that, and it'd be like the Lucky Charms, it'd be the Apple Crisp. Oh, corn pops.
My grandfather always had corn pops in the house, and I didn't like them.
Corn pops. We used to do corn pops. I like corn pops. I'm not gonna lie. I remember liking corn pops, but I feel like they changed. I got them back when they were in that aluminum bag. It was like it was like, is this from the future? Is this like
aluminum bag of corn pops?
It was just like, it looked like it was like
That's 10 different varieties of unhealthy.
Is this 10? What is bag? What bag is this in? And I just remember eating those like crazy. But here's the thing: at what point did milk decide it was just going to turn its back on us and be a thing that we just weren't going to be able to digest anymore? Like, I just remember being at a point in life where I was just like, why do I feel like crap every time I digest anything dairy? Like, I didn't know that it was like, oh, this is just a phase in life now. I was just like, oh, that's weird. It's like, no, that's 30. Like, that's
yes, that is that's an are we old moment, and I've had that too. I've dealt with lactose intolerance for quite some time, and I'll tell you what, Charles, it reared its ugly head on me on a date in high school. At a TGI Fridays, where my girlfriend at the time and I went out for ice cream. We had a whole day. Then we went to Fridays for dinner, and the ice cream from earlier on reared its ugly head. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder if I have a stomach bug. And my mom said, maybe you have a lactose intolerance. And I, on a rainy day where I had nothing to do, I squared off head to head with milk. Me and Milk sat down. I drank a glass of milk, and I waited, and Milk won. Milk won.
You looked at Milk and you said, we're going to hash this out right now.
I said, you and me are going to talk. And we said few words, and Milk put me in my place. And I said, okay, Milk, this is your world. Right. I'm just the visitor. Yep. And we avoided ourselves for quite some time. And then I kind of grew out of. I had a long break from cereal, frankly, because of my.
Yeah.
It was like cereal was collateral damage. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't. I'm not gonna. What am I gonna put water in my cereal?
No. It's not happening. Yeah,
and I'm not gonna buy cereal, and not. You know, it's difficult. I mean, that's a hard. You know, I'm gonna watch cartoons with the sound off.
Here's the thing. Sometimes I'll make a game changing decision, and I'll say, you know what, me being lactose intolerant isn't necessarily my problem as much as it is whoever's around me problem. So today, I feel like having cereal, and whoever's around me is going to have to suffer the consequences.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, you know what? That is a mature grown man making a decision right there. It's true. Hey, sometimes I go, you know what? It's time for pizza.
Yeah.
And then I go, I'll sleep in the garage, babe. And that's basically where. So I have a cheese cot that I keep in my garage. So if we do cheese or milk, I can set up camp. I want to ask: have you? This is a real old. Are we old? Moment. Listen to what I'm about to ask you. Yeah. Are you doing Lactaid or almond milk or oat milk or?
All right. So I went through a whole Lactaid phase because this was in my 30s, and I was like, you know what? People were telling me, all you got to do is try Lactaid. All you got to do is try almond milk. BS. Bull caca. All right. Same thing. Anything with ilk in it has the same effect on me. People, try cream, try this type of cream, try this. It doesn't work. It's all the same. It's all the same. So at this point, I'll go with the whatever is the less resistance. I'll try it because maybe regular milk is even worse than the Lactaid, or maybe Lactaid. But either way, there's going to be an after effect. There's going to be some damage. So
you can't spell milk without ill.
Exactly.
So I will tell you, I've now I'm an oat milk guy, or I'm an coconut milk. So they're whatever, but it's literally just as a child when I would Niagara Falls milk cascade over the bowl, splashing everywhere. Yeah. Now it's like literally just enough. Wet the cereal. Last night, that's what I did with my oatmeal. Wet the cereal, a little bit on the bottom. I'm not drinking the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, cinnamon flavored milk water like I used to.
Yep.
So top 3 cereals as a child versus an adult. I want to hear what yours are.
Oh man, top 3 as a kid versus an adult. All right, I'm gonna go with top 3 as a kid. Corn Pops, Frosted Flakes, and I was a Trix kid for a little bit, but then I fell off of it.
Okay.
But what was the Captain Crunch?
Captain Crunch
with the Crunch Berries.
You like the little barrels? Oh yeah, you're a texture guy. That's a texture decision you just said.
Yeah, extra berries. I mean, your top of the roof of your mouth is gone. Just forget about it.
Dad, you might as well chew on concrete.
Don't even think about it. But yeah, those are my kids. As an adult, I'll do a nice Raisin Bran. Gotta eat it quick. Let me tell you something. The person who invents a Raisin Bran flake that doesn't turn to snot 3 seconds after hitting the milk will win the Nobel Prize.
Yes.
I promise you.
Yes.
Will win the Medal of Freedom.
It definitely doesn't have a good. Yeah, it ages like an avocado.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. You got to go in quick.
Yeah.
But I'll do Raisin Bran and I'll do outside. Oh, Honey Nut Cheerio still.
Okay.
And let's see for the third one. Those are the two. Maybe some other variation of Raisin Bran
Maybe,
or
yeah,
cereal.
or maybe you bring in one of your old favorites as like a nostalgia.
Yeah, a little nostalgia here and there. A little nostalgia. Maybe I'll do a cinnamon toast. Cinnamon toast, you can't go wrong.
Right on.
What about you? Top three.
My top 3 childhood cereals are Cinnamon Toast Crunch is always first and foremost going to be number 1 to me.
Yeah.
Always. The consistency, it would tickle your nose a little bit if you got like a real cinnamony piece that the 3 guys put a lot of stuff on. Those little cinnamon monsters. Lucky Charms. I loved, and
scooped up the marshmallows. Did you save the marshmallows for the end, or was it all encompassing?
This is a thing with me, man, and I still do it where I try to ration out. I believe every meal that you sit down and eat, every slice of pizza, every bowl of cereal, every bowl of ice cream, every apple has one apex bite, like one perfect experience.
Yeah.
And I would build up to it, and I would have a wind down from it. So, like, if I have a bowl of cereal and it's a heaper with like 70-30 marshmallows to those little dumb things, Odie things, I would have that spoonful, and in my head I go, that's as good as it's going to get right now. Like, I just peaked. Like, that's this bowl of cereal, and I just had an orgasm, and now we're going to smoke a cigarette or whatever.
There you go.
So, yeah, but I still do that. Like, I definitely, like, if I get a good slice of pizza, I'm like, that's it. I peaked. Maybe that's when I should just stop eating instead of, maybe that's my body going like, yeah, dude, you're done. Okay? Like, what you were looking for, whatever hole you were trying to fill, you did.
Yeah, it's done. That hole being in your mouth, it's filled.
But yeah, I would try my best. I like to have a nice mixture. I wasn't like an all, because nothing comes for free in life, Charles. So if you do a whole scoop of marshmallows, you are going to have a whole scoop of Odeo thingies or whatever the hell.
Just kitty litter. You're just eating kitty litter for the rest of the
That's right.
rest of the bowl. Yeah.
And then I'd say the third, and again, I come to think of it, I am kind of brand loyal. I was always a Raisin Bran fan.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I had a weekday cereal. And then I had a weekend cereal. So, like, during the week, my mom wasn't letting me eat, like, Cinnamon Toast Crunch like crazy. So I'd have to do my healthy cereal. Healthy cereal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Raisin Bran.
Meanwhile, you look on the back of a Raisin Bran box. It's like fructose. Dye number 58.
Yeah, purple 13. It was like calling audibles, dude. They're just yelling out. They're just Peyton Manning ingredients. There's Omahas in there somehow.
Ridiculous.
Yellow number 9. And then now, as an adult, the same. I'd say the exact same. I will tell you one that I thought was, it came across as healthy. I feel like it was just trail mix, essentially. But do you remember Basic 4?
Basic 4? No,
it had remember. Like slivers of almonds and cranberry. It was like the Panera Bread of cereals. It was like a REI. If REI was a cereal, it's like a camping store became a cereal. It was a little too, but I got on a kick with that. And then I'd have to say an honorable mention too was Clusters. I liked Clusters. Those were cool because you'd get these little balls of crunchy whatever the hell mixed in with the soggy snot flakes like you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that was good because I like a texture change. I like a temperature change. I like with my food.
I want to give a honorable mention to all the off-brand, no-name brand cereals that would be on the bottom of the shelf.
Yes.
In the Ziploc bags.
Yes.
Those go hard too. So shout out to everybody whose moms had fruit O's. And,
Power Flakes and
Flakes and Raisin Flakes and
Dino Teeth and all that.
Yeah.
And you know what else too? How about a nice moment of silence and nostalgia for the horrible mascots for those cereals.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
those guys were like that's the minor league baseball of mascots. When you're
Yeah.
like a
D-League.
guaranteed value tiger,
Yeah.
you probably got
Oh.
worms, dude.
Oh, the fact that yes, to your point, the fact that they wouldn't just go a completely different animal, they would go, well, ours isn't Tony, it's Timmy. And it's just like,
Timmy the terrible tiger, dude.
Timmy the tiger. And as a kid, you just have to go, what? Who is this?
Yes, dude. Oh my God, it's so funny, right? Like instead of like Lucky the leprechaun, it's like Gary the pirate. It's just like,
what is this? Yeah.
but so a big nostalgic shout to them.
Shout to them, man.
What cereals did you guys love, listeners?
Yeah.
How about that fun segue? Send it to us in our DMs. We are going to be talking live on YouTube to you. We have a phone number with a voicemail through YouTube that you can call us and chat. You got to go over there and find it. And we would love to hear, and we'll read yours and we'll play your messages over there. But we want to hear from you guys as well.
Yeah, let us know what we missed.
I wonder about like how many adults that's definitely an am I old moment where it's like, am I old to like, is it okay for me to like eat kid cereal as an adult for dinner?
I would say so. I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you need it for all the adulting that has to be done. It's like let me have this.
Yeah.
You
Let
know
me
what I
have
mean?
this. Yeah.
Let me have this. Yeah, I think it's earned.
I'm not smoking cigarettes. I'm not going to bars. I'm not gambling. I'm not, like I just every now and then can't I eat a half to 3/4 of a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch on a Wednesday afternoon?
Do it, man. Do it. Do it like it's supposed to be done. Listen, man, this has been a fun episode, man. I've learned a lot. We are the guys in the back of the school bus. That's literally behind the school bus getting the bird flipped at us. And it's okay.
It is okay.
It's okay.
It is okay.
And the circle of life continues.
Yeah. And
All
you know
right?
what's funny, Charles? Those kids are having fun flipping me off, but guess what? I don't have to go to school.
That's right. So screw you, kids.
Yeah, that's the biggest bird right there. Enjoy your square pizzas, you jerks.
Oh my God. Listen, thank y'all so much for joining us. Make sure you tune in next time. And yeah, man, REO.
Peace.